This video series is sponsored by American Coffee and Tea. American Coffee and Tea is located at the corner of Stonebrook Parkway and the North Dallas Tollway, right next to the Shell Station in Frisco, Texas. Guys, if you pride yourself in supporting local businesses and you pride yourself in being patriotic and believe in capitalism and believe in the opportunity to forge your own pathway in your business and in life, then stop by American Coffee and Tea and support them. The staff is fantastic. They're friendly and hospitable, and you just get a sense of community and I would say harmony when you go in there. Guys, American Coffee and Tea. Today I'm drinking the cold brew. It's very good and tasty. It's robust. I love it. So make sure you stop by there when you get a chance in Frisco, Texas. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Rush Outrospective. You know, every now and then you'll run into a person who you look in their eyes, you can tell that they recognize their own humanity. Not only that, but they also understand humanity is all about limitless empathy, but born from the heart's understanding that another person is just as real as they are. As a board member of Operation Carry International and a sponsor for Fellowship Power Lunch, Katie Andy makes it her mission to surrender a piece of herself in order to understand and identify with the journeys and sometimes the struggles people face. She knows that her time and commitment to all these causes are part of a greater mission of helping people find peace and happiness in their lives. So it's with my great pleasure to introduce to you Katie Andy.
Thank you, Rush.
Katie, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Did I get you? Did I get you?
I lost my voice there for a second.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think I hit all points. I feel that, you know, I see it when I look in your eyes. I can tell you recognize your own humanity and that you give a piece of yourself to each of the organizations that you represent. And in that journey with people, you get to understand them better. And you also, it's your mission to help them find peace and joy in their lives. So
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. And I think that two key things you said there are surrendering a piece of yourself, because that's really what we're doing. But when we surrender that, we gain so much back.
That's awesome. I might get emotional. Just so you know. Okay. Okay, so let's start off by, first I want to tell you that I admire and appreciate the work you do in the community. We've worked together on many projects, and I've always find this joyful hope and heart from you. And it's great to be partnering with you on these things too. I want you to know that.
Thank you. That feeling goes both ways, Rush.
Awesome. Okay, well, first things first, let's start off by paying respect to Black History Month.
Absolutely.
Okay, by saying Happy Black History Month to you and your family. Talk to me a little bit about what Black History Month means to you and your family.
So being a blended family, I think that it's important that we celebrate all cultures. God didn't create any one culture better than the other. He didn't create any one race better than the other. We're all brothers and sisters. And that blended nation, right? That is what we're called to be. We're called to collaborate, to create together, to communicate, to cooperate. And I think that it's important because we've had a marginalized piece of our society that has not been given proper credit for their contributions to society in science, art, math, industry, manufacturing. And so to have a particular month that we can set aside and learn and truly learn the things that aren't taught in the textbooks because they've been taken out or eliminated or oppressed, it's important that all of us are part of that conversation and that we learn truth. And so to me, that's what the month represents, is it's an opportunity for us to all come to the table, good, bad, and ugly, and to talk about truth and to give credit where credit's due. Absolutely.
You know, Martin Luther King, you know, there are points in history that really stand out, you know, for African Americans, Black History Month, and just Black history, period. Is there one specific piece of history that you go, this one's the most significant one that impacts me the most?
There are so many, and for me, and I remember this going all the way back to I think probably my 5th grade year, right? But it stuck with me. But Harriet Tubman absolutely is my hero. She is somebody who shows what it is to take courage, to surrender yourself, to surrender maybe pieces of your own freedom so that you can go back and get others and bring them out. And so just her courage, her tenacity, And she did this all the way through the end of her life. And so she definitely somebody I celebrate. But there's so many great prophets and activists and people that God has sent into the world. We just have to listen and not crucify them.
Yeah, perfectly said. I agree with you 100% on Harriet Tubman and so many others.
Oh, so many, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me. Okay, let's transition. You work with Interlink Mortgage, and what do you guys do over at Interlink?
So Interlink Mortgage is a mortgage banker. We provide financing to first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, purchasing your dream home, investment property. Basically, the way I look at my role, and this is my 24th year in the mortgage industry, but I'm here to help. I'm here to help people realize the dream of home ownership. And we have lots of different programs from zero down products, down payment assistance. We have jumbo loans, bank statement programs. So lots of different tools in our toolbox to help people achieve that dream.
That's awesome. You've been 24 years in the mortgage industry. That's like a lot. It's a legacy of body of work that can be much appreciated and valued if someone reaches out to you. If someone reached out to you, where would they go?
So they can find me at www.kandyloanapp.com. You can also find me on Facebook. My phone number is 817-807-5367. And I'm available to answer any questions. I do lunch and learns with some realtors with helping them learn the industry and learn products and programs available as well. One of the things that I love being in the industry as long as I have been is that I'm starting to get the next generation. I'm starting to get the kids of families that I closed whenever I was still just a processor. So it's pretty exciting.
That's crazy. That's like, I'm sure you're like, wow, that's like an awesome experience.
So fun. It's so fun.
That's so cool. Okay, you're also a board member of Operation Care International and a sponsor for Fellowship Power Lunch. Talk to me a little bit about each of those organizations.
So let me start with Fellowship Power Lunch because that's actually how I got connected with Operation Care. So Fellowship Power Lunch, we just celebrated our 6th year, and this was a vision that Lisa K. Gurney had that God had placed on her heart a few years before she actually stepped out in faith. And basically Fellowship Power Lunch brings speakers, authors, people from the political atmosphere, from sports, from media, but she brings them in to speak to a group of people, right? It's fellowship. It's not networking. It's an opportunity to step away from your busyness and connect with other people, receive a good lunch and receive a good word, right? And it's nourishing for the soul and the body. Fellowship Power Lunch in 2016 in November, Susie Jennings, who's the founder of Operation Care, was our guest speaker. And Susie's story touched me in such a poignant way that I immediately signed up to volunteer for their annual Christmas Party for Jesus, which is a Christmas event serving our homeless community and our severely impoverished families. So it immediately spoke to me. I grew up in poverty, so I understand what that struggle's like. And I believe that when we have been blessed to come up out of that, it is our responsibility to turn around and then bless others and help them along the way. So a hand up, not a hand out, but finding a way to connect with people and show them that there is a way forward and that where they are today isn't necessarily where they're going to end up. And so it represented a lot of hope, and it represented an opportunity for me to share my time and my talent and my treasure. So I started out as a volunteer that first year, and my daughter at the time served with me. And from there, we've served pretty much every year since. And in 2019, I was able to bring Interlink Family Foundation on as a partner with Operation Care in the way of grant money. And so I've been able to do that for the last couple of years with Operation Care. And in 2021, Susie Jennings asked me if I would prayerfully consider being a board member, which I did. I'm very protective of my time. So I want to make sure that if I'm saying yes, that I'm saying yes to the right thing and the right time, because I am a mother, I am a wife, and that's my first ministry. But it's been a blessing to be a part of the board and to see what all actually goes into bringing those events to the community, but also understanding that Operation Care is not just that one event. They provide tangible items to the homeless community and the impoverished community throughout the year through their St. Joseph's storehouse. So it's an ongoing ministry. It's just that's one main event that they do each year.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it sounds like a very impactful event, both organizations.
Yes.
I'm familiar with Fellowship Power Lunch because I do a lot of work with y'all. And but man, the Operation Care International is pretty impactful. Okay, next question is, how important are these organizations to the community?
They both serve a purpose to connect people and to help people, right?
Yeah.
That is probably the biggest thing I think that we've been missing in the last few years, especially with COVID, is we've lost a lot of connection. We've been so isolated. And so even during COVID, Fellowship was able to meet via Zoom.
Yeah.
So we still had our monthly luncheons with our speakers, and we were able to use technology to still bring people together. And during that time, our membership actually grew because people were able to attend a little bit more easily via the Zoom connection than taking time out and driving and going to the event whenever it was at Crest Infinity. But what we found is that people were hungry for that connection. People still needed that personal touch. And that's really what Fellowship is all about. Like I said, it's not a networking event, it's a connection event. It is an opportunity to go and connect and to meet other people that maybe share similar stories. Yeah. And we just recently had Jim Monroe, who's an author and a speaker and a skeptic, and a lot of people probably know him from his I Am Second. And that was probably, out of the 6 years that we've been hosting that event, it was one of the most impactful that we've experienced so far. But for me, being able to connect with people in a meaningful way, with authenticity and being genuine, that's what we're called to do. None of us are called to live in isolation. You know, no man is an island unto himself, right? Yeah. And so when we step out of our comfort zone and we step out of ourselves and we help others, it will multiply. Yeah. You know, I kind of call it God's divine math. You know, whatever burdens we carry are divided, and whatever joys we share become multiplied.
Love
so
that.
These sorts of events allow us to multiply the blessings that we've been given.
That's amazing. I love that. Okay, how's it go again?
So God's divine math, right? Yeah. So our burdens, when we share them, become divided. And our joys, when we share them, become multiplied.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay. Being part of these organizations, is there a story or an experience that sticks out in your mind that has impacted you the most?
So they both have different things, right? With Operation Care, I think on a personal level, where it really impacted me, the first year I served in toys. So I was in the back. I didn't really get to experience the event in the front. I didn't get to see the people, right? I was just bagging toys. My daughter, who went with me at the time, was 15, was originally going to serve in the Santa area to take pictures, right? That's where she was comfortable. But right across from that is the family foot washing station. And this is where children come and have their feet washed, and they get new socks and new shoes. And I am telling you, what a beautiful thing, right? Yeah. I had kind of wanted her to serve there, but at 15, didn't know if I would sell her on that, right? Right. While they were shorthanded there, they were over volunteered in the Santa station, and they came over and asked for volunteers, and she said, "I'll go." Wow. And of course, as a mom, I was so proud, right? Yeah. So, but I didn't know this until after the event. So she comes and she tells me, and she is excited, and she's also softened. Yeah. And she goes, "Mom," she goes, "seeing the look on these kids' faces," she goes, "this is where we have to serve. This is where we have to serve every single year." She goes, being able to talk to this child, to connect with this child, to make them laugh, and to see them get this pair of shoes. Yeah. It seems like something that is so small. But the following year, when we did serve there, I caught what she caught. Yeah. And it is that humanity. Yeah. And for a lot of these children, this is their pair of shoes for the year. They don't go in their closet and have 8 pairs of shoes to choose from. They have one pair. And as that pair starts to fall apart, they just have to walk through it, through the holes in their shoes. Yeah. And we will see children year after year, and we get to see them grow. Yeah. And hopefully, my goal is that we stop seeing some of those children, that maybe they are able to raise up out of that mom and dad are given opportunity, that maybe this is just a season, but they are going to come out of it. But that's the hope that we want to sow, is that each season that you go through, there is hope on the other side of that your station could be better, that your opportunity could be better. Life can change like that. Yeah. And so if we can sow that hope and share that love
Right.
and really just share the humanity,
Yeah.
right? You know, I see you
Yeah.
and I want to see you smile.
That's
I want to
awesome.
make you laugh.
Yeah.
I want to love on you a little bit.
Awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
So
It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I got a little choked up. I'll be honest with you. I really did. It's emotional. People don't understand the spiritual significance of washing someone's feet and the connection with Christ. And so that's a beautiful expression too, in its own right too.
and that is exactly Susie's vision for that.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons that the foot washing station, both on the homeless side and on the family side, it is a signature piece, and that's what she started with. And so internationally, the countries that we adopt, that is the signature event that takes place. So there is evangelism, there is the foot washing, there's the new shoes. In Texas, obviously, we've got the toys and we have the meals and all of that too.
Yeah.
But in the other countries that she goes to, the signature thing that we do is wash the feet of the children and the homeless and provide them new shoes. And it is that is the example Christ gave us as far as serving.
Yeah.
He didn't come so that he could be served. He came so that he could serve.
Yeah. What have you learned about humanity being part of these organizations?
That there's hope.
Yeah.
There's so many things going on in the world right now that we could focus on that could take our peace away. But being part of a organization that is bigger than yourself and that is actually doing work in the community, it connects you to the good things, to the joy.
Yeah.
To, when you pour love out, you can't help but open up and have love poured back in.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine a life where I'm not serving anymore. And there were many years that I didn't.
Yeah.
There were many years I was tied up in my own busyness and my own goals and what I thought was important. But in 2014, God really got a hold of me. And, he brought me out of a very, very dark place. He set me in a new place. And it was a place for me to surrender my life to him.
Yeah.
And to really trust his process and his order to things. And knowing what he brought me out of, how can I not give back?
Yeah.
How can I not pour back that hope into others? Knowing what he's done for me, how can I not share that with other people, that he can do that for you too?
Amen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, sponsorship within a community organization. What are a couple of tips to gain sponsorship for like your organizations that you're part of? What are some tips that you could give somebody who has an organization? How do I need sponsors. I need sponsors for an event. I need sponsors for a gala I want to host. What are a couple of tips that you've kind of learned in being a part of being a sponsor, number one, and being a board member?
So start small, right? It doesn't have to be a great big event.
Yeah.
It can be something small. I mean, for me, I had never thought about sponsoring an event like Fellowship Power Lunch before until Lisa came to me about it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this sounds great. Let's do it. And here we are 6 years later, and I'm still a sponsor, and we've seen so many sponsors come along. We need money, right?
Right.
Organizations like Operation Care, Fellowship, Interlink Family Foundation, all of the nonprofits, and this even in the veteran community, all of the nonprofits are serving a community, their boots on ground, right?
Yeah.
All of that takes dollars. But if you start small, well, what can I give? First of all, what's important to me?
Yeah.
Find something that makes your heart sing. Find an organization that speaks to something inside of you. Because I guarantee that everything that each one of us has gone through as a child and a teenager and as an adult, there's something in our life that touched us in a certain way.
Yeah.
Find the organizations that are doing that work, because that's where you'll find the human connection. That's where it will have meaning. And then from there, where can I put my dollars? Where can I put my time, my talent, my treasure? And for sponsors, same thing. What does your organization represent? And what organizations within the community that are doing that work, who can you connect with to put your corporate dollars as a sponsor to help bring those events or supplies or therapy or make-a-wish sort of things? I mean, there's so many needs that can be met, but find the organizations that are meeting the need and put your time, talent, and treasure there. And then as far as, this is something, I had never fundraised before Fellowship Power Lunch and before our first annual Veterans Appreciation event, which you walked through that with us.
Yeah.
It's amazing if you ask. Most people have a heart to give.
Yeah.
Some people just don't know where to give, right? So don't be afraid to ask and let them know what you're about. Be transparent and let them know, no matter how small that seed is, how much that donation is, it will make a difference.
Yeah.
Because if we have 100 people making a $1 donation, that's $100 that we've just raised, right? And then you multiply that. So we all have social networks, but we also have our inner sphere. So I always start with that inner sphere, go small, but then also use the social media platforms to go big.
Yeah. Katie, this has been a wonderful conversation, enlightenment of who you are, the embodiment of humanity, your contributions to the community, how you're motivated by helping others achieve their happiness and personal fulfillment for their lives. And I'm honored to know you and work with you all the time. And it's been a great pleasure to sit down and have a conversation with you about the things that are important in your life and your mission and going on in the community. So I appreciate you. I ask you real quick before we wrap up, are there any events that we need to know about that are coming up with Operation Care International or Fellowship Power Lunch?
Yes, so both. So Fellowship Power Lunch meets the third Tuesday of every month. We are going to have a new location in March, so look for that on social media, on Facebook under Fellowship Power Lunch, or you can look us up on fellowshippowerlunch.com. We do meet monthly, and then we're about to have our 4th annual Veterans Appreciation event in November. We are looking for corporate sponsors as well as individual sponsors as well as volunteers and veterans. This is free to veterans and their spouse. It is an opportunity for us to thank them, to honor them, just appreciate them. We always have a great speaker for that event. As far as Operation Care goes, we have a love banquet coming up the Saturday. It's Easter weekend, so it's the Saturday before Easter.
Okay.
And it is at ESP, which is a former strip club turned into a church downtown, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so restoration in a lot of ways. And we will be serving the homeless an incredible banquet. We have a company that comes, they have mobile showers. And so the homeless can come, get a shower, they can get fed. Again, the foot washing is part of that event as well. And then we also have some great entertainment lined up. I think we have some magicians coming in this year to entertain while they have lunch. But it's just an opportunity for us to love them Easter weekend.
Awesome. Katie, it's a pleasure to have you again. I love you very much as a friend, as a sister in Christ, and I look forward to seeing you at all the amazing events. And I definitely want to partner up with you on Operation Care now, or Care International. So we'll do that, okay?
Wonderful. Rush, thank you again so much for having me.
Awesome. Guys, that's it for the Rush Outrospective. As I'll always say, the ocean refuses no river.